Sophie had been staring at her phone for hours. She was waiting for a message from her best friend, Emma, but nothing appeared on the screen. They had argued 3 days ago about something silly, and now Sophie regretted every word she had said. If I could turn back time, I would apologize immediately, she thought. The argument started at school when Emma borrowed Sophie's favorite book without asking. Sophie had been looking for it everywhere and felt frustrated when she discovered Emma had taken it. "Why didn't you tell me?" Sophie had asked angrily. Emma replied that she had mentioned it, but Sophie hadn't been listening. The conversation escalated quickly, and both girls said things they didn't mean. Now Sophie was lying on her bed, feeling miserable. Her mother knocked on the door and entered the room. "You've been quiet all evening," her mother said gently. "What's bothering you?" Sophie explained the situation, and her mother listened carefully. "You know," her mother began, "if you don't reach out first, you might lose a wonderful friendship. Pride is a terrible thing when it comes between friends." Sophie knew her mother was right, but she felt embarrassed. "What if Emma doesn't want to talk to me?" she asked nervously. "You won't know unless you try," her mother encouraged her. "Real friends forgive each other. I'm sure Emma misses you too." Sophie picked up her phone and started typing a message. Her hands were shaking as she wrote, "I'm really sorry about what happened. I shouldn't have gotten so angry. Can we talk?" She pressed send before she could change her mind. Minutes felt like hours as Sophie waited for a response. She was going to put her phone down when it buzzed. Emma had replied, "I'm sorry too. I should have asked before taking your book. I've missed you so much." Relief washed over Sophie. They agreed to meet the next day at their favorite cafe. When Sophie arrived, she saw Emma sitting at a corner table, looking nervous. As soon as their eyes met, both girls smiled. "I've been thinking about what happened," Emma said as Sophie sat down. "I realized that I had been inconsiderate. I know how much you love that book." Sophie shook her head. "I overreacted. It's just a book, but you're my best friend. That's much more important." They talked for hours, sharing stories and laughing like they used to. Sophie told Emma that her mother had given her good advice about swallowing her pride. Emma confessed that she had been about to send a message too, but was scared. "If we had both waited longer, we might have lost our friendship over something so small," Sophie reflected. Emma nodded. "From now on, let's promise to talk about our problems instead of letting them grow." They made a pact that day. No matter what happened, they would always communicate openly and honestly. As they left the cafe, Sophie felt grateful for her friendship with Emma and for her mother's wisdom. That evening, Sophie wrote in her journal, "Today I learned that apologizing doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. True friendship is worth more than pride." The next weeks were wonderful. Sophie and Emma's friendship became even stronger. They had learned a valuable lesson about the importance of communication and forgiveness. Whenever they had a disagreement, they would remember that difficult period and talk things through immediately. Sophie often thought about that lonely evening when she had stared at her phone, feeling hopeless. She was glad she had found the courage to send that first message. It had changed everything. Years later, when Sophie faced other conflicts in her life, she would remember this experience. She had discovered that most problems could be solved with honesty, humility, and a willingness to make the first move. The fear of rejection was nothing compared to the regret of losing someone important.